Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses. Anthony Stabile and Andy Serling as we close out the penultimate week here at the Big A. 9-race card with first races we've lost come off the turf, and in some ways it's not bad we got the rain. Not only could we use them for the turf here and at Belmont Park as well, but with the dead rail that's persisted for almost 2 weeks here, maybe this will help turn the track around a little bit. We've had an extreme bias here for quite a while, so we'll see how things play out today. But we are starting out sloppy. I imagine we're sealed, and we are off. I think it's going to get nice, so maybe it'll dry out a bit as the day progresses. Only 2 turf races were lost, and we still have some pretty good fields, because the 7th race, I guess, was a good dirt race and a good dirt race, so it worked out well. The racing office did a fabulous job with that. Head over to Naira Bets. We'll use the promo code Derby25. We'll match the $200 initial deposit, and we'll give you a free $25 Derby bets. You've only got about 13 days left to do this, to take advantage of that bet for the Kentucky Derby, which comes up in just 13 days from today. We've also got the middle pick 4, so we have pick 4s in races 2, 3, and 6 of our 9-race card today. We have a 10% bonus on trifectas, winner's bonus, opt-in over at Naira Bets. That's Sunday at Aqueduct, 10%, hit those tries. We also, what else do we have? I think we have opening day at Belmont. That is Thursday, May 4th. So we actually go in there on Derby week, which we haven't done in recent weeks, where it gives a little time over there, get those turf courses in good shape, and it'll be nice to get back to Belmont first time in almost 10 months since we've been at Belmont Park.
Wow.
Amazing, I know.
Haven't thought of it that way, because you always think about just not, you don't, I forgot to include Saratoga in that.
It's been a long time since we've been to beautiful Belmont. I know we're all looking forward to getting back to Belmont Park as well. And finally, last but not least, 1 to 6, America's Day at the Race on FS2, covering the action here at Oaklawn Park.
We got a cross-country pick 5 today as well, just for you fans out there. Keeneland 2nd, Keeneland 5th, Aqueduct 7th and 8th, and then the Keeneland 9th. We'll have a ticket up over at Naira Bets.
All righty, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Race number 1. Race number 1 is a bit of a mishmash of a race, and we'll take a look at Freudian beating April Antics, who came back and won next time. And you picked Freudian on top, a horse that I didn't like, and we'll let you talk about why you like her today.
I did. You know, I could have called a little bit of an audible here.
Replay?
Because of the wet track. Her wet track form is not great. It was okay early last year, but I don't know. I just don't know if it's just her form period's just not that good. She ran well last time. I know it was not a tough bunch. I know April Antics came back to win, but it was not a tough bunch of horses. Rob does the right thing. She wins the 2 life for the bottom. He runs her right back for the 3 life for the bottom. And I just thought she could work out the right trip off of the speed in here. I would imagine Raffinity's going to go. I would even imagine Rhubarb Martini going to show a little speed to set it up for April Antics. And here, I would imagine the Kanamachis are going to use the entry to their advantage in here. So I would imagine Freudian just sits the right kind of trip, one that she sat last time.
Yeah, I looked to this race, and the one thing I said was I don't want horses that either finally got through the non-winners of 2 lifetime condition, like April Antics and Freudian, horses that took quite a long time to do it while piling up some seconds and thirds. And I want horses that primarily are dropping. Now, the 2 Racing Colors is a horse that's dropping, and she's been running against better horses in her races. And the reality is that her 60 buyer last time out easily makes her a player in here. And I think because of the connections, this horse is going to be a square price. Now, I know she's 2 to 1 right now. I doubt she's 2 to 1. If she's 2 to 1, I'd book her before I bet on her. But you make these picks way in advance. And I also thought that Cheyenne Mission was another horse who was dangerous. Second off a layoff. I mean, she ran in an open 16 last time. It was a wildly tougher race than the one she's in here. So I want horses that have been running in better fields. So I went to the 2 and 7. To be honest with you, I'd probably end up taking the one that's a bigger price. Maybe I should have gone 7-2. We'll see how things work out. But I don't want any part of horses to win their non-winners of 2 lifetime and their non-winners of 3 lifetime in back-to-back races, especially this type of horse. Race number 2, we came off the turf. There were some funny scratches in here. I'm not sure what happened with the connections. Now, maybe they were vet scratches, but certainly Tunnel Vision and Ripe for Mischief, they felt like if they weren't the first 2 choices, they certainly would have been 2 of the 3 top choices here. Now, as I said, perhaps they were vet scratches, but if they weren't, seems like a curious decision to take those horses out, horses that probably shorter prices on the dirt than they would have been on the turf. I don't
I would
really
imagine tunnel
understand.
vision would have been close to 2-1, right?
He would have been the favorite. I mean, listen, he wasn't going to be a big price on the turf,
But he would have been a shorter price on the dirt.
You would certainly
no
think
question
so. And
about
Right
it.
for Mischief ran in maiden specials and chased around Awesome Native that day, showing speed. So I don't think he would have been a big price either. Like I said, maybe they were bet scratches. Otherwise, I'm not exactly sure why the Connections would choose to come out of a softer spot like this. Where have you gone here?
I scratched into the 16, one of the also eligibles, the Golden One, who came out of the dirt race on Thursday to run here. No MTOs in here, so these were all the also eligibles were entered for the turf as well. Horse ships up from Florida, faced open company, fresh gelding. So this horse is in for 40 today. It was in for the quarter, but does it really matter? I mean, this race. Now, with the scratches, I mean, with the 3 and the 14 coming out of here, not the 14, I'm sorry, the 13 coming out of here, I mean, this race is probably easier than the quarter was the other day.
Yeah, I mean, this horse took no money for a high percentage trainer and did no running. I've got him third because there's nowhere else to go. But we'll look at the 14 Mocker, who will probably be the favorite in here. And Mocker's getting a very, very significant rider change. This is 2 races back, and I mean, running against a horse like Playing with Matches and running against Signal Corps, I know Mocker's not exactly the most appealing of horses, but he's very much the horse to beat in this race. He's just been running against horses that are significantly better than these and didn't even run that badly. And this is a very, very serious rider upgrade.
And this rider change resulted in a. Did this kid ride this horse, Andy? The turf horse last year that then Javier rode and galloped in the turf sprint?
You may be right. I don't know.
I think
no.
It was, a different, it was still
No,
a significant
Louis
rider
Rodriguez.
upgrade,
I think
right?
it was Louis Rodriguez Castro or Omar
Okay.
Moreno. It was
But
Omar Moreno
it was to
Hernandez.
Javier.
But it was to Javier, yes,
Yeah.
correct. But it was one of either Rodriguez Castro or Moreno Hernandez. I end up with somebody else on top in here, the 4 Tiebreaker. You look at Tiebreaker, and he's a true dirt horse in here, and he started out running against real horses and running well. And you look at 2 races back, Spirit of St. Louis, Olympic Dreams, those kind of horses going a mile. And I think some people look and say, oh, he didn't handle the slop. I don't see it that way. He was part of the pace, and it fell apart against much, much better horses. And then last time out even, he was running against, last time on the dirt, better horses. I think Tiebreaker is just a very logical horse in this race. So I'll take Tiebreaker over Mocker. I think they're the 2 likeliest winners of race number 2. Race number 3, you've got an entry in Systemic Change. I think the horse that ran third, the horse that ran behind Systemic Change, was that one of the Chris Engelberg horses that won the other day at a big price?
The horse that ran second?
No, the horse who ran 4th, I think. The horse who was second didn't do any running
Right, the horse
yesterday.
who ran 4th was in the same.
No, the horse.
Oh, the 2 horse.
Yes.
With Jackie Davis, right?
Who won the first race here on Friday.
Yep.
But Reserve Currency, we'll take a look at both of them. Reserve Currency easily beating that one. And I actually don't think Reserve Currency ran that badly last time. That was a track that was probably kind to horses that were forward. He was way too far back in that race, and he actually made a bit of a run. I know the pace was fast, but it's not as though it fell apart. And Celestial Moon and Majority Partner are better than these. I'm going to use a little Exit Right, who I actually think ran pretty well last time. I thought he was dangerous. Exit Right looks like the controlling speed in this race, especially with the scratch of my friend Beer. So I'll use him as a backup, but to me, it's only Reserve Currency and Exit Right. I don't want anybody else at all.
Well, I wanted a little Complete Agenda. I think Complete Agenda is going to want more ground. I think the extra 16th of a mile is going to help him. He just got going late against stablemate Curbstone last time out, and I thought it was 1s and 2s.
Yeah, I'd love to bet a lot of money that Exit Right finished ahead of Complete Agenda. Last time out, Exit Right was involved in the pace that fell apart, and he actually held on very, very well in that race. Well, Complete Agenda was just sucking up at the end and picking up pieces. And as far as who ran the better race, I don't even think it's remotely close between Exit Right and Complete Agenda. Now with the scratch of my friend's Beer, Exit Right's job gets even easier. Race number 4, well, you've got a scratch of a horse I'd originally picked on top, and I kind of wanted a firster and 3 that ran. We'll take a look at Ukrainian Princess, who you have second, because about the only video I could seem to find when she ran second 2 races back. And I mean, she's okay. Strange Fruit is okay, but I got to tell you, I want somebody who hasn't run before.
Yeah, Protected off the voided claim this day. Last time ran for the 40, got beat a long way. This was the day the pace really collapsed and Joey Big Nose came flying. Not this day.
What do you mean protect? I'm sorry, what am I missing? Protected?
Well, this horse was claimed for the quarter, And then they ran the horse for 40 last time because they didn't run the horse back for the quarter because you would imagine somebody was going to claim the horse for the quarter. Yeah, it was a voided claim. So,
but it wasn't protected.
No, well, that's kind of a protection. You want to go pay another $15,000, go right ahead.
I don't know what races were really coming up. I mean, ran a race where they were 3-1 and finished second. So I got to tell you, I doubt very much the Connections horse are going to cry too much if they lost it for a quarter. It may just be the races that are coming up. They ran for a quarter 2 times in a row.
Yeah.
It's not like, I mean, she ran a 25 and a 41 buyer. I don't think they have too many aspirations. What is she going to be worth when she gets to her maiden win?
No, well, I mean,
she'll be running for 16, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's always Finger Lakes.
The bad break for them was that that the claim was voided. That was the bad break.
Well,
it was a good break for somebody and a bad break for them.
In any event, I mean, well, you don't have her anyway.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I think of the horses that ran. I think the horse you have on top is the right horse. She ran okay first time. She was bad last time, though. I didn't like her last race.
Yeah.
But it was a race where the pace held together. The speeds ran 1-2 around the racetrack. But still, I thought she should have run better last time out. Now, maybe the wet track will help her a little bit. Her first race was a pretty good one.
I would like to see a break today, too. She hadn't gotten off to a particularly good start.
She didn't break that badly last time. About a half a length slow. Much worse the first time. The problem the first time wasn't the break. The problem the first time was that she was on a dead rail. And I think that's the reason that she probably,
Pretty Miss Keen's wired them that day. She just got beat a bop for second.
But she came down and stayed right on the rail, and the rail was not the place to be. I'm going to guess with a firster. And when the 2 scratched, the one I'll guess with will be the 4 Bustin' Lulu. Ray Handel, who's obviously has won with firsters and is having another fabulous year so far, but he's 1 for 19 with first-time starters and maiden claimers on the dirt. So it feels like the maiden claimers in general he's running are just bad, like a lot of people. Bruce Levine, he's 6 for 55. This horse actually has a little bit of pedigree, is Bruce's horse. A homebred Ferrari Valente, so I'll put that one on top, but who knows, you know. It's not exactly a race with a lot of form and to get, you know, if any of the firsters can run, they're going to be tough, but they may not be able to run at all.
Pick 6 starts in race 4 today.
Does, thank you. Race number 5, big scratch of the 2 in spite of Trainer, who felt like one of the major players in here. We'll take a look at Valenzen Day last time, gutting it out, riding a good rail to victory. And, you know, it's interesting with Valenzen Day, got the big fig in here because the horse who ran second is coming back in a very competitive race on Thursday's card. And I'm kind of curious to see how Valenzen Day does off the claim for Pat Reynolds. Pat's 5 for 18 off the claim. Overall, he's 3 for 14 on the dirt off the claim with a $1.49 ROI. He's been better, actually, I guess, on turf. I think I looked overall. I'm not, but his numbers off the claim are decent. Pat does a good job, so he's the one to beat. I don't know.
Rolling Pat Reynolds double for me. I scratched into this horse. I wanted to bet. I was taking a shot with in spite of Trainer.
Oh, he's
today.
the horse to beat.
Yeah, the horse to beat. Yeah, multiple 4-time winner in a field full of horses that have won 1 or 2 races.
I'm going to try Badwater as the other horse in here with no illusions that the 4 isn't the horse to beat. And I think these horses will be sort of waltzing around the track together in a slow pace. And you know me, I'm a sucker for those Bucheros. It's a horse that you took a shot with last time. This horse is coming out of an extremely tough field. They were just a lot better horses. And I know he didn't do a lot of running, but you watch the race. He was ridden along early by Manny. And listen, he didn't do a lot of running in there. I'm not going to say he did. But he didn't completely and totally fall apart. I want to give him one more chance in a race where he can be more on the engine in a slower-paced race. Ricardo Santana's riding him?
Yeah, I haven't seen any changes. So Blinkers are on him today, too, so maybe that'll help hustle him.
Is he riding here? Is he riding here and not Churchill?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Should ask your fellow.
I believe he has a new agent, from what I've heard.
Oh,
so,
I did not know that.
So, but I did see him riding here, and so maybe he will be riding with us. I know he had talked in the past about coming here. I can't take anybody else in here. I know you have the 3-second, but that horse got lucky up a gold rail last time out against Proven Hope, who's a proven loser, frankly, until he found the turf and beat me at the wire. So he found a way not to be a proven
me at
loser.
the wire, too.
Proven beater, that's right. We both been the same horse. He found the right idiots to beat.
There's some real sickening things went on the last 10 days around here.
All right, that's the first 5. We'll be back with the last late pick 4 after a quick break.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
We're back. Anthony and Andy. Late pick 4 starts in race number 6. And we'll take a look at Try It Again in Royal Currency. And Royal Currency, this is like a time capsule of Royal Currency's life. I mean, if you ever want to find a horse that has no interest in winning a race, I mean, this horse, she is a true, and we'll roll that video if we can, a true equine chandelier.
It's amazing.
My God, does she not want to pass horses?
This is so bad.
She didn't even want to pass for second when it was secure that she wasn't going to win the race. She didn't even want to pass for second. Listen, she's an ATM. I mean, she's made almost $200,000.
Charles made $180,000.
So maybe they're just better off sitting in the $1 a one lifetime forever, to be honest
Andy
with you.
Berg had one like this about 25 years ago. I can't remember her name. He can't remember her name either. She ran second like 9 out of 11 starts in the state bred ranks. Just could never get there with
Try it
Chucky
again.
Lopez.
Good form, and she looks like the speed over Liberty Flame. But I think that Romero has got to be aggressive on the inside. We are both trying to beat Try It Again, though. I thought it was a little more interesting, this race.
I like a horse. I'm betting the horse I picked in here.
Okay.
I like Meraviglioso today. I think this horse has been facing the melting snow. The run melting snow was on, easy trips or not. I think she ran into a tough bunch of horses. Those starter 12.5s were tough 2 starts back. She ran into Bavarian Queen when she was going to go to. Now she's going to be able, she gets a rider change to Javier Castellano. She's going to be able to, I mean, forget about the last, she ran in that distaff. She ran behind Mama. She's got to be 7 lengths to Mama's Got to Run and Funny How last time. She's going to get a trip off of speed in here and not have to go mix it up like she did 3 back. And I don't even go fast 2 and 3 and 4 back, but she was still part of it. I think she's better when she has a target. She gets a good rider change. She's going to be a square price. She's got to be the 3rd choice in here. I mean, they just keep betting Royal Currency. Try It Again is going to be the favorite, I would imagine.
I think she's dressed up by running against better horses last time and don't really like her here. But hey, we'll just have to agree to disagree. She's obviously not impossible in this race. She is running consistent figures that make her a player in here, and I could see her getting it done.
I like her a lot today.
We'll see how things work out in this race for her. I'm not a huge fan of hers, and I put Royal Currency second. She likes to run there. I like Silver Fist. Silver Fist is a horse that I had been interested in last year off some trips that she had. She ran a very good race. That race, when she finished second to Let Her Inspire You, obviously was better than these horses at Saratoga. She ran extremely well because she was engaged in a pace that completely fell apart, and she managed to hold on. Then she didn't really get into gear in her next race. She had steadied a little bit in the race, but wasn't really the reason. She needs to be more forward in there, and it didn't work out. Then they ran her on the turf. Then last time out, she got a ridiculous ride last time out. She's coming off a layoff. I agree. Listen, it's a layoff. You don't really know how they're going to run off layoffs. But she's got races that make her contentious here, and I think she's a horse that's sort of buried. She's going to be a fair price. I'm going to hope to get a little more than 9-2 on her, and I'm going to take Silver Fist in this race. We'll see how it works out. We were right about one thing. Liberty Flame got claimed last time. So we do have one thing that we both predicted that would happen.
We predicted all 3 last time, I think.
They all
1,
get
5, and
claimed,
8
yeah.
came out of it.
Actually, you liked the other one to get claimed. I didn't think the third one would get claimed, and you were right. They all got claimed. Yeah. So we'll see how it works out. Listen, if the pace gets hot, I think there's a possibility the pace is hotter than Timeform US thinks. It would help Fancy Feline. Hey, listen, this is the first time you haven't had Fancy Feline anywhere, so she might finally win today. He's been one of your pets. Not one of my pets.
I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it anymore.
Should probably win now. Race number 7. Obviously, you're sorry we rained off the turf, but we've had very, very good fortune with the turf races.
Yeah.
These are the first ones we've lost, so no complaints there. And Racing Officer did a great job having the MTOs in here make for a very, very strong race. And we'll start with a replay of Happy Farm and Sheriff Bianco. One thing that's not going to happen here. Happy Farm is not going to benefit from another slow pace. And he has been the very fortunate recipient of slow paces. Now, he can close into a faster pace, but I believe that Sheriff Bianco was greatly hurt by that slow pace last time out. Going 7 furlongs as well, I think 6 is going to be better for him. I know he's burned some money lately, but he's not going to be as short a price he's been in some of those races, and I think he's going to get the pace to run at, and I like Sheriff Bianco today.
I think you picked Nabokov. They have the wrong picks up for you?
They do. My picks are supposed to be 11, 10. Guys, I sent you picks. 11, 10, 12, 13.
So just the top 2 need to be
Yeah,
flip-flopped.
maybe I missent them. I thought I sent them as 11, 10, but I could have sent them wrong.
Yeah, I'm like you. I went the other way and put Nabokov on top.
We'll show Nabokov's race 2 races back on a wet track where he ran well behind Dr. Ardito. I'll let you talk about it.
Well, that was the thing for me. I think, his 2 wet track races, even though he has that bigger fig in November, his 2 wet track races are save that one race are better than the rest. I think he appreciates a little moisture in the track. And I also think, I think he kind of found himself on the lead 2 starts back because it was not that fast of a pace.
Actually, it was an extremely fast pace that fell apart, and he ran remarkably well in there when you consider it. So actually, the pace was quick, and his race 2 back was exceptional when you consider the race dynamics here and how he ran. He ran very, very well. My concern is his last race where he came through on the inside. He ran so badly last time coming through the inside, I thought the rail might be dead. As it turned out, the rail was actually good. So his last race is a bit of a concern to me. I get it. He ran a good race on a wet track. He's dangerous. I've got him second. I don't have a big problem with him here, but his last race concerns me a little bit.
I thought it was 10s and 11s because I do feel like Happy Farm had everything go perfectly for him last time, right? He probably should have beat Adamson 2 back, and he had everything go perfectly that day, and he still got beat. I thought it was 10s and 11s, and if somebody else wins, they're going to probably beat me.
Well, I'm not going to just be completely dismissive of Chateau. I mean, he was forced to chase last time at Laurel, and he's a very quick horse. And if it turns out the track is kind to speed, I wouldn't completely dismiss his chances in this race. And I understand that there's a lot of speed in this race.
He's the speed of the speed, though, right?
He's always the speed of
Yeah.
the speed. I don't know what they were doing last time with him, where that rider is that didn't get the front, because he's one of the fastest horses on the planet
That
Earth.
rider's, you know what the funny thing about that rider is? He's won about 120
No,
races.
he's a good rider.
Yeah.
He was the apprentice. He's the apprentice that didn't win last year.
Yeah.
He could have won. He is good, but I don't know why they weren't in front.
Me
Maybe
either.
they didn't want to go. Don't know why that would have happened. I mean, he was in front of Pirate Rick 2 races back. Surprise Boss's last race can't be ignored. Now, it was a rail that was good. But the performance he put in here was otherworldly, and it was amazing because he stinks on the dirt. And I think all of us thought, rightfully so, they're just prepping for a turf race, which would have been this race. But you could say the rail was good or not. I mean, he fought everybody off. Majority partner came back to win and ran a 102 or 103 buyer, okay? Joey Freshwater, it wasn't a great race, but he won a stake the next time. And rail good or not, this horse fought off one speed after another and fought it out. Now, I realize there's a lot of pace in here, and he's certainly not going toe-to-toe with Chateau in all likelihood and holding on. But to just ignore how well he ran last time, I don't really like him in here either. But this horse ran his butt off last time. And that was one of the most impressive wins of a 35-to-1 shot you'll ever see.
Yeah.
And I remember when he won, because this is a sneaky operation, thinking, I'm sitting upstairs in the studio and thinking, I'm going to turn around and look at the board, he's going to be 9-to-1, and I'm going to want to fling something. And I looked around, he was 35-to-1. I said, he didn't take a nickel. When those horses run for that operation, they get bet. And he didn't get bet, and he shouldn't have got bet a nickel.
Not a dime.
And he
scratched out of a couple of dirt races, too, leading up to the race. And
he seemed like he was clearly prepping for this race, in fact. And he just ran super in that race. So anyway, I guess this race would have been a numbers of 2, right?
No, he would have been prepping for any other than, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, and I don't want to ignore just how well he ran. I don't see it. I'll put it this way. I'm not betting him, but when he ends up winning this race, I don't think you can say, where did that come from?
He's going to have to win it from off the pace.
Yeah,
though.
right. He's not going to be able to deal with Chateau, but the way he ran last time, I don't want to just completely dismiss this horse because he ran huge last time. I mean, there's an argument he ran as well, if not better, than anybody coming into this race in his last race, because he really earned it. Race number 8 is the Colt edition, or Philly edition, excuse me, of the New York Stallion Series. And I don't think there's at least logical contenders on paper, though we saw huge price almost pull up the upset in yesterday's race. A somewhat improbable horse coming up for Lisa Lewis. And it's funny, I remember that horse. That horse that ran second, I remember that horse ran at Tampa while we were on break. And I was joking with Naja Thompson, of course, who's the executive director of New York Breeders. And we were talking about it. I talked about it on Twitter. And I said, like, what is Lisa doing with this horse down at Tampa? The horse broke its mate at Tampa. Well, lo and behold, they waste their time in 4 races down there. They come up here, they almost want a stake.
Could be in the neck. Flying.
New York breds should be running in New York. You know, they start with an advantage.
I heard that.
I've heard that too. But I mean, it's just, that's why it's so
Remember
weird.
when Steve Summers did those commercials from FAN?
No, but I don't remember.
20 years ago.
I don't know who Steve Summers is.
The guy from FAN.
Yeah, obviously, I figured that out.
The schmooze.
I smoked that part out of it.
Yeah.
So we'll take a look at Midtown Lights. I'm not. He's probably going to win this race. I'm not Midtown Lights' best fan. The best thing that happened to him is probably because it rained. Probably better in a wet track.
Yeah, she probably is.
I mean, I don't know. You know, the mod horse that ran second, who ran a better race, I thought, than she did last time, she came back and kind of
very good the other day.
Ran
No.
5 Beyer points worse in her next start, and I thought she ran really well in this race. So I'm a little bit skeptical of this horse.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not. She can win. Obviously, she's the horse to beat. I'm not.
kind of put yourself in the right spot. And I guess you could argue that she probably should have won the Stallion Series race in the fall when Le Bon Temps beat her.
Why should she have won?
Well, I don't think Le Bon Temps was comfortable down inside that day. I don't think Le Bon Temps was comfortable on a wet track. I know. And you can argue that, but I just feel like...
Well, then why should she have
well,
won?
I figured out that little break. I think this little break has done her some good. And she's really taken a step forward in the last
I think
few
she's
months.
a little dressed up by circumstance, but obviously a horse who can win this race. But I'm not completely sold on her. And Le Bon Temps, I don't know. It does feel like she's tailed off a little bit. Her last race was a bit of a disappointment, but to be fair, Security Code did come back and win here the other day. So that may have been a much better race than that figure suggests.
I wonder if she wants a little bit more ground too.
I don't know. Why? She was right there at 6 furlongs last time. She didn't get beat because they didn't go farther. She was going to lose by more if they went farther. So I don't know. I don't think she's going to be hurt by more ground or less ground. I actually think overall she's been a better horse than Midtown Lights, and she's going to be a bigger price than her. I'm betting Athena Beach. I'm not usually big on the horses from Penn National. We'll take a look at her. But this horse, the horse that finished second to her, went to Laurel, improved her Beyer figure 5 points. She's been dominating. She, on paper, is the controlling speed here. These are connections that have shipped horses here over time and have done well with them. If you want one operation coming from Penn National, you want this big group.
It's Pete Casmius and
that gang, right?
Yeah.
Right. They do well with these horses, and this horse has run fast races overall. And I thought as a new shooter here, I will prefer Athena Beach to wire the field.
You're supposed to be gone in here, right? Ricardo's supposed to just take the bull by the horn and just put this.
I think it would be a bad idea for Ricardo to decide to come riding in New York and start rating speed horses. And frankly, he's never been a rider who's been known for rating speed horses. So somebody took a big magic marker and just ran it right through the entire field in the 9th race. I liked horses that are scratched in here, and I mean, Blue Plate Special.
What are you supposed to do
I
now?
don't love this horse, but I don't know, this horse ran against much better horses last time. The track was favoring forward horses. It was a forward-dominated race, and the horse was bad, but in this field, I mean, we'll show red DGP.
We're actually watching a replay for this race. That's impressive.
I wanted to find somebody, and well, here's my point with this replay. Okay, this is how pathetically deep I went. The only time this horse, this is March of 2022. This is a year plus.
Last March.
It's the only time this horse ran a maiden claiming race.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I did it.
You make a great point.
I mean, in this field, I guess these 5, 6, and 8. I mean, if the 5, 6, or 8 don't win here, I mean, there should be a pick 6 carryover. It doesn't matter if it chalks out going into it. I'm obviously exaggerating a little bit, and the 8 is the one that's had the one chance for Brad Cox. I don't know. I mean, 8 and Sand, I don't know where that big win came from because he hasn't come close to duplicating it in his next 2 starts, but obviously he's not impossible in here either. That is today's card. We are off the turf and sloppy, something we have not said since November.
Wow.
Been a long time since we've said that. It feels really good to say it. Hopefully we won't be saying it again until
November.
Next April. Anyhow, head over to Naira Bets if you're not a member of Naira Bets. No better time than the present because not only are we going to match for $200 of your initial deposit if you use that promo code Derby25, but we're going to give you a $25 Derby bet bonus, which I'm warning you right now, you only got 13 days left for that, so you better swing into action. middle pick fours. So we have pick fours in races 2, 3, and 6 today on our pick fours. And we have a 10% trifecta bonus. Sundays at Aqueduct, opt in for that. And as Anthony pointed out to you,
there it is.
Races 2, 5 at Keeneland, race 7 here, race 8 here, the Park Avenue division. It's a very hoity-toity division of it. When I used to drive to, in race 9 at Keeneland, to the track with Harvey Pack, which I did quite often as he lived near me on the Upper West Side, Harvey loved Park Avenue. We would always drive, because we would take the Midtown, the Queensboro Bridge, because Harvey likes saving the money, and those of you that know Harvey could appreciate that. And
would you take the Queensboro Bridge to the LA?
Yeah, switch to LA, and he loved Park Avenue. So we would.
What could the tunnel have been back then?
We would cross the park. It adds up. So we would cross the park at 86th Street. Listen,
Harvey's the best.
My time in the
Harvey
car
was
with
the
Harvey
best.
was legendary.
Oh, man.
For those of you that just know Harvey from TV, I can promise you, you think he was funny on TV? He was funnier in real life. And he, Harvey had been to every theater. Harvey used to go to all the plays. He opened.
Yeah, I remember
talking
that.
about seeing like Eli Wallach and Death of a
I remember
Salesman,
that.
and Brando,
He always,
and
that's what he talked about.
Streetcar, and those things.
The chief always
But
talked about the old movies, and Harvey always talked about the plays.
He went to all those plays, and we would take. He loved Park Avenue, so we'd cross the park at 86th because he lived at 86th between Central Park West and Columbus, and I would pick the car up and have to drive it around, pick him up out front, and we would go down Park Avenue from 86 down to go to the bridge. And Harvey just loved Park Avenue.
You never made it down to Times Square because you think otherwise you would have covered both New York Stallion Series races this weekend.
Well, that's true. Yeah, but Times Square was West Side. Believe me, none of us want to go to Times Square, and I live a mile and a half from it. And anyway, we got last but not least, America's Day at the Races, 1 to 6 on FS2. Here and Oaklawn. Well, it looks chilly at Keeneland. They're kind of bundled up there.
They're bundled up, yeah.
Keeneland.
They have their overcoats on. Yeah.
All right, that's it. We're inside, so we're not bundled up. You get ready for a day's action. Chris Griffin, he's getting ready for a reprise, the scratches and changes in a few minutes. Have a great day here at the Big A.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.